Hi, this is Mark Pizzacalla and welcome to the first edition of What You Need to Know with Dr. Mark for 2024 for Legalwise. And what I want to talk about today is negative gearing. Now you might say, what's so exciting about that? But look, negative gearing has been in the papers now for the last couple of months at least, and it's causing a lot of confusion around, well, should we retain negative gearing in the Australian tax landscape? Should we be done with it? And is it important? Now, for those of you that don't know, negative gearing is where you're able to purchase a property, for example, borrow monies, and any excess of those interest and other costs that you've incurred in relation to that property, in excess of any rental income that you might have earned, you can claim that loss as a deduction. And that's quite important. I mean, if you're on a higher marginal tax rate, the greater the deduction that you will get under the Australian tax system. In addition to that, of course, you might also get a 50% CGT discount when you sell your property, as long as you've held it for more than 12 months. But the issue is this, and I always say to people, what are the property metrics? You need to make sure that commercially that property purchase makes sense. It meets the metrics that you require. Otherwise, you shouldn't really be getting into an investment simply because of a tax deduction that's available to you. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is that there's a lot of money that is spent on this from a government perspective. So the Treasury data shows that aggregate rental property deductions will be around $27 billion in 23-24, up from about $17 billion in 2021. So that is a lot of money that is going in relation to aggregate rental property deductions that are being claimed. And I guess for that reason, it's making the headlines, because I guess the issue is, well, with the debt that we're carrying, what should we be doing in order to, what are those areas that we can look at where we can maybe make some amendments? Now, as many of you know, the history behind this with the Labor Party is that back in 2016, they did introduce a policy that indicated that they would limit negative gearing to properties post when they come into government or thereabouts, as well as cutting the 50% CGT discount to 25%. You might also recall, for those of you old enough, that Paul Keating disallowed negative gearing on properties in 1985-86, and of course, back then that caused rentals to increase, and so although some people disagree with that and say that other factors were at play as well, but nonetheless, I think that needs to be closely looked at to see, well, if there is a change, what does that actually mean? And we haven't even touched on land taxes, which have significantly increased as well, and other measures being introduced by the various SROs, particularly in Victoria. So look, that's all I wanted to say. Please take care. Please make sure you make your decisions based on commercial rationale, not simply the tax conclusion. Speak to you soon.